just cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like spammers have been getting smarter over the
Yeah. All right, we are live, everyone. Shalom, everyone. We're back. We're going to be dealing with the 7 trumpets of Revelation here. So this is going to be a study that kind of ties into what we were doing last night with Yom Teruah. So this is a little short, brief type of study here. So let me see here. Okay, let's see here. So I think we're going to start off here at Revelations 8, verse 12. And let's see here. So Revelations 8:12. Okay. Come on. All right, Revelations 8:12. Come on, E-Sword. You're killing me here. Come on now. All right. Here we go. All right, so Revelations chapter 8, verse 12. And the fourth messenger sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, the third part of them might be darkened, and the day might not shine for the third part of it, and night likewise. So we see here that the actual light of the moon and the stars and the sun is actually being taken from them, which is kind of interesting. So so let me see here. I think I'm trying to see why they included this. Let's see. Whoa. Heavens of the earth. Okay. All right. So that didn't really directly talk about it. So let me just move on here. Got Revelations chapter 9, verses 1 to 11. Okay, so Revelations 9, 1 to 11. It says here, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star that fallen from heaven to the earth. And to him was given the key of the pit of the abyss. And he opened the pit of the abyss, and there arose out of the pit a smoke as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by means of the smoke of the pit. And out of the smoke came forth locusts. And upon the earth, to them was given power, as the scorpions of earth have power. And it was said to them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing nor any tree, but the men such as have not the seal of Yahuwah in their foreheads. And it was given to them that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And this torment is as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. And in those days men shall seek death and shall not find it. They will desire to die, and death flees from them. The shape of the locust was like that of the horses prepared for battle. On their heads as crowns like gold, and their faces as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they have tails like scorpions and stings, and in their tails is their power to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, the messenger of the bottomless pit. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek he has the name Apollyon. Verse 12 here, the first woe has passed, behold, there comes 2 woes and more after this. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar that is before Yahuwah, saying to the 6th angel that had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels that are bound on the great river Euphrates. And the 4 messengers were loosed, who were prepared for a day and a month and a year to slay a third part of mankind. And the number of the armies of the horsemen was 2 myriads of myriads. I heard the number of them. By the way, a myriad would be like thousands. That would be like a huge amount, like in an army.
Mine says 200 million.
Well, let's see. 2 myriads of myriads. Okay, yeah, I could see how they're getting 2 million, because it'd be 2 myriads of a myriad. Okay. Which actually, hold on a second. That would be 200,000. How are they getting 2
I
million?
don't know. I know that's NIV. So
I don't know how they're getting
I don't know
200 million from that, but all right. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, those that sat on them having breastplates, fiery hyacinth and sulfur, and the heads of the horses as the heads of lions. Out of their mouths go forth fire, smoke, and brimstone. By these 3 plagues was the third part of men killed, by fire, by smoke, and brimstone that went forth out of their mouths. For the power of the horses is in their mouth and their tails, for their tails are like serpents and have heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of men that were not killed by these plagues repented not of their works of their hands, that they should not worship demons and the idols of gold and silver and of brass and of stone and wood, which can neither see nor hear nor walk. And they repented not of their murders, neither of their sorceries, nor of their lewdness, nor of their thefts. Interesting. So let me see if there's any actual. I'm trying to remember if it's Revelations 6 that gives the whole trumpets. Let me just see here. So that was Revelations 9 there. Revelations 10 verse 7. So let's see here. Okay. Revelations 10 verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the 7th messenger, when he shall sound, and the mystery of Elohim was finished, as he proclaimed to his servants, the prophets. So here again, it's mentioning that when the 7th messenger sounds, the mystery of Yahuwah is finished, pretty much. So that definitely seems to hint that that's when Yahusha is returning, which again, we see that in multiple instances. At the 7th trumpet, he returns. Let's see here. We got Revelations 11, 1 to 13. So Revelations 11, 1 to 13. The 2 witnesses. Okay, so there was given me a reed like a rod, saying, arise and measure the temple of Yahuwah and the altar and those that worship in it. And the court that is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given to the Gentiles in the set apart city. They shall tread down 42 months. And I will give to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks that stand before Yahuwah of the earth. And if anyone will hurt them, fire comes forth out from their mouth and devours their enemies. And if anyone will hurt them, they must be put to death. These have authority to shut heaven, the rain fall not in the days of their prophecy, and they have authority over the waters to turn them into blood, and to smite the earth with every plague as often as they will. Verse 7 here. And when they shall have accomplished their witness, the beast that ascends out of the abyss shall make war with them and overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies in the street of the great city, which is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where our master was also impaled. And they of the peoples and tribes and tongues and nations see their dead bodies 3.5 days, and suffer not their dead bodies to be put in a tomb, And they that dwell on the earth rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And after 3.5 days, the spirit of life from Yahuwah entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon those that saw them. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying to them, come up here. And they went up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And in that hour, there was a great earthquake. And a tenth part of the city fell, and there were killed in the earthquake names of men 7,000, and the rest were frightened and gave esteem to the Elohim of heaven. So, yep. So that's the two witnesses chapter there. Let's see here. We got also verse 15 and 18 and 19. So let's go to verse 15 here. Here we go. The seventh trumpet. And the seventh messenger sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdom of the world has become our master's and his Messiah's, and he shall reign from age to age. And the 24 elders that sat on their thrones before Yahuwah fell on their faces and worshipped Yahuwah, saying, we give thanks, Yahuwah Elohim, the Almighty, who are and who was, because you have taken your great power and have reigned. And the nations were angry, and your wrath has come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that you should give reward to your servants, the prophets, and to your set apart ones, and to those that fear your name, both small and great, that you should destroy those that destroy the earth. And the temple of Yahuwah was opened in heaven, and there appeared in his temple the ark of his covenant. There were lightnings, voicings, thunderings, and an earthquake and great hail. Yeah. Yeah, and that's obviously the original Ark of the Covenant. That's not the, replica that was made on the earth, obviously. That everything that Yahuwah showed Masha was a blueprint. So yeah, go ahead,
Put it
Lo.
on lower.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna lower
It's not a big deal. Go ahead.
temperature.
Can you show your screen as far as
Yeah.
what you're reading? So
Yeah, sure. So let's see here. Let me go to we got a Galaxy S10 waiting. Go. Yeah, so let me see here. Let me try to put my shared screen on here. So share screen, start now. All right, so let's go to, we read Revelations 13, what we just read and all that. So what I was mentioning is that the Ark of the Covenant that's being mentioned there is the original Ark, like the actual Ark in heaven. So the heck is going on here? Okay. All right, so oh, my bad, chapter 11, actually, yeah. So yeah, so when it says, oh my goodness, my throat today. All right, so your wrath has come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that you should give reward unto your servants, the prophets, and to the set apart ones, them that fear your name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And here we go. The temple of Yahuwah was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his covenant, and there were lightnings, voices, and thunderings, and an earthquake and great hail. So, all right, so we're going to go to Revelations 15 now. Let's see here. So Revelations 15, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 messengers having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahuwah. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. and them that had gotten victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, and stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahuwah. And they sang the song of Masha, the servant of Yahuwah, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are your works, Yahuwah Almighty. Righteous and true are your ways, you king of set apart ones. Who shall not fear you, O Master, and esteem your name? For you only are set apart. For all nations shall come and worship before you, for your judgments are made manifest. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of witness in heaven was opened. And the 7 messengers came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And one of the four living creatures gave unto the 7 messengers 7 golden vials full of the wrath of Yahuwah, who lives forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the esteem of Yahuwah and from his power. And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 messengers were fulfilled. So it seems like, for the most part, when the 7th trumpet happens, that's pretty much the last of the plagues. Like, that's when the plagues are being finished. So they're, which again, I haven't really fully figured out how all that works out. Because we know that when Yahushua returns, it will be before the bowls of wrath and all that. So that's the only thing I'm trying to figure out is time-wise how that's going to happen. We know that once he returns, that's when the bowls of wrath are actually happening. So
This part right here in verse 8, this is the heavenly tabernacle, right? This isn't on earth, where it says that the temple is being temple.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is the heavenly tabernacle. It's the it's the same one as the other chapter in chapter 11 that says the temple in heaven.
It's just interesting. You have it being filled with his esteem, and no one's able to enter it. Reminds me of when the temple that Solomon made was filled, and they couldn't stand because it was filled with his esteem. Only now it's like the heavenly fulfillment of that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And by the way, those that don't know, the 4 living creatures are not beasts. I know that's how it's translated in a lot of Bibles, but they're not beasts. They're not animals. Okay, the 4 living creatures are messengers. They are a certain particular type of messenger, and there's all different types of theories about who they are. Who of the angelic hierarchy would be the 4 living creatures, but regardless, they are cherubim. They are not beasts. So that's always my pet peeve when I read these translations and they translate the word for living creature as beast. Definitely gives off the wrong type of understanding. So, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, so that's all I really have for this type of study. I couldn't really find that many cross references that are dealing with the 7 trumpets and all that. I know you also have the 7 seals and all that. Let me just see here. See if I'm missing any verses here. Yeah, let's see here. Let me just see here. So they're saying 8 verse 2, chapter 8 verse 2. Yeah, so actually there's a couple of other references from chapter 8, it seems like here. So 8 verse 2 talks about then I saw 7 messengers who stand before Elohim. So let's go to that real quick. I think this will be the last cross reference here. Chapter 8, verse 2. So, and I saw the 7 messengers which stood before Yahuwah. To them were given 7 trumpets. And another messenger came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. There was given unto him much incense, that he should offer with the prayers of the set apart ones upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. And again, I believe this is talking about the temple in heaven. It's not talking about an earthly temple. Okay. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the set apart ones, ascended before Yahuwah out of the messenger's hand. And the messenger took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. Again, that is reiterated, actually, if I'm not mistaken. We see that same thing with Exodus 19 when Yahuwah comes down on Mount Sinai, by the way. So, verse 6 in Revelations 8. And the 7 messengers which had 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first messenger sounded, and followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And we got a lot of requests in the waiting room here. Okay, there we
I
go.
passed you around.
All right, you're keeping me on my toes here. All right. What the heck happened? I thought I omitted her. What's going on with Zoom today? Zoom's acting weird on my tablet. Okay. Very strange. All right, let's see. Go back to the My Sword app here. So we're at Revelations 8, verse 6. The 7 messengers which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first messenger sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And the second messenger, so hold on. I think I was at what was I at okay. First messenger sounded, there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. They were cast upon the earth. The third of the trees was burnt up. All the green grass was burnt up. And the second messenger sounded, as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And a third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third messenger sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. So I guess a star can't be a ball of gas then. Got it burning like a lamp. So, the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth messenger sounded, the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and night likewise. And I beheld and heard a messenger flying through the midst of heaven, saying, this is where the manuscripts get screwed up, by the way. A lot of these modern versions, even the restored name versions, they trust in a once you get past Paul's letters, they switch to the Codex Sinaiticus, which will tell you eagle instead of angel, which doesn't make any sense in my opinion. The Textus Receptus of the King James says, I heard an angel flying through the midst of the heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. So for whatever reason, the Codex Sinaiticus decided to change the word angel to eagle. So anyway, But I think that's it for our seven trumpet study. I'm trying to think of anywhere else we can go to. What I would like to do, actually, I think there's one other cross reference I want to go to because Revelation 8 is talking about there's a day where most of the day is not showing. It's night for most of the day. I believe this links up with Zechariah 14. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit of background noise here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So going back to my sword here. Let me just try to see here. Go to no, I know what I want to do. Go to Zechariah 14. Okay, Zechariah 14. All right. Let's see here where it talks about it. Yeah, so it says here, there shall be for one day cold and frost, and that day shall be known to Yahuwah, and not be day or night, but towards evening it shall be light. In that day living water shall come forth out of Jerusalem, half of it toward the former sea, half of it toward the latter sea, and so it shall be summer, so shall it be in summer and spring. And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. In that day there shall be one Yahuwah, and his name one. But what I find interesting here is it talks about there will not be day or night, but towards sunset there shall be light. I find that interesting. So possibly referring to the same day as Revelations 8. So anyway, that's all I have left to share with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that study. So that is just kind of an introductory study to the seven trumpets of Revelations. So anyway, showing how important the feast of Yom Teruah is. Go ahead, Brother Joshua.
I'll wait until we get off the record. I wanted to touch on one of those on the former C, latter C part, but I want to wait till we get off the.
Okay. All right. So just to add before we go off here, this is what they're going to be blowing in Joel chapter 2, verse 1. That's what's going to be blown when the day of Yahuwah is coming. Okay, so these instruments, the silver trumpets, are very important. They were given to Yashal to assemble on, to go to war with, for the priests to blow on their burnt offerings, for the priests to blow when they were carrying the Ark of the Covenant. Very important. They are very important instruments. In a spiritual sense, you're praising Yahuwah with them because you're shouting to him. You know, and another traditional term for Yom Teruah is shouting. And I don't know if anyone is curious about how Yom Teruah became Rosh Hashanah, but if you guys want, I can share a link from a Karaite Jewish person that completely explains how Babylon, a lot of people took stuff from Babylon and how they melded Yom Teruah, which was given to us, and they tried to twist it into a civil New Year based on Babylonian culture and the traditions of Babylon. So go ahead, Sister Sadia, before we go. Go ahead.
Sadia.
Me unmute. Okay. So, darn, I should have wrote down that question. When we hear the trumpets, when Yahushua comes, at that point, every eye shall see. Correct?
That's stating that.
Well, yeah, every eye will see him in the clouds. So when the trumpet is blown, that's when he's gathering his elect from the four corners of the earth. So
Okay.
and it seems like Michael is the one doing that. Michael, the archangel, is the one actually blowing the trumpet. So
Okay, so his elect, we're considered his elect, correct?
well, you have
Or
the
is it the
elect,
144?
the elect in that context, in that event, I believe is 144,000.
Okay,
And
that's
then,
what
and then you have the rest of the chosen being resurrected in the second resurrection.
Okay.
So basically, when he returns, he's only resurrecting the 144,000. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to explain there. So
Okay, let's just say, for example, he blows the trumpets today. Who's going
well,
at that
he
point?
wouldn't.
Let's say he blows it today.
The reason he wouldn't do it today is number one, the things haven't been fulfilled yet. So
Right.
even in a hypothetical context, you can't really have him returning right now because the beast hasn't come, the man of lawlessness has not been revealed, the apostasy hasn't been fully fulfilled yet. So you have a lot of things that need to happen for him to come. So Yahushua is not going to come until the tribulation's over, and he tells us that. He tells us, immediately after the tribulation of those days. So,
So we're riding, we're going to be riding on some rough roads. But okay, so okay, right now, as we're seeing Israel and the heifers that have arrived, not just one heifer, I think there was 3 or 4 heifers.
Yeah.
And they have arrived in Israel. At that point, we still got a year and 20 whatever to survive this, or to keep going, because they're going to sacrifice those heifers, correct?
well,
And
yeah,
then,
eventually they will. I don't know
Yeah.
when that's going to happen because
I
you
thought
have
there was
to
a time period.
you have
There's
to
no
have
time period.
you have to have the beast make the 7-year treaty, peace treaty, and then 3.5 years through that is where the first 3.5 years is when the sacrifices actually happen, by the way. So the first 3.5 years of that covenant is when they're going to bring back the sacrifices. So that's why I say I don't want to jump the gun, but
Exactly.
I think we got a ways away until that Levitical priesthood is going to be brought back. So but yeah, he basically says what he's going to do is he's going to bring it back, make the Jewish people think he's their Mashiach,
Exactly.
and he's gonna bring it back for only 3.5 years. Then he's gonna break that covenant.
He's
Say,
going to slap
no,
them in their face.
he's gonna show his true colors after the first 3.5 years, where he says no more sacrifices, and he's gonna renege on everything he's doing. So that's the best way I could explain it, is that system is not being brought in until the beast comes into that temple. So
Okay, so now, so then at any day, once that beast appears in the temple and says peace, peace, that's our sign, correct?
yeah, well, that's our sign to get ready, because
Exactly.
the first 3.5 years are going to be kind of a cakewalk in a way, because he's gonna make the world think that he's bringing world peace. He's gonna make the world think that he's solving all the earth's problems, yada yada yada. So yeah, he's
Okay, do you think that the one world currency will be part of that, maybe trying to draw it all one goodness to each other? We all have the same currency.
Oh
There's
yeah, well
no,
that's needed for the mark to happen. You can't have everyone having their individual bank and
yeah.
having a mark of the beast. So what's
Oh,
going on
boy.
right now is they're trying to take away any
Money.
type of way that we would have freedom from their system.
Exactly.
So they're going to take away any way for us to have our own sustenance, have our own income that Yahuwah has baruched us with. they want to take away any of that so that we're fully dependent on the government. And I mean, they've been planning this for a while. One, basic
Yes.
income, that whole basic income that they've been planning, the Democrats have been planning, one world basic income. Everyone gets paid the same, whether you work or you don't work.
No way.
Yeah, they've been working on that for a while. So yeah, but as far as right now, sis, I don't think any of that sacrificial system will be coming back yet. I think what Yahuwah's doing is with the red heifer thing, he's kind of just trying to get our
Wait,
attention. Like, listen,
Exactly.
in the next half a decade to a decade, you're going to be in the tribulation. So I think
Yeah.
Yahuwah's trying to wake his people up a little bit.
Yep.
Because we're definitely resting on our laurels to a degree. So he's just trying to wake his people up.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
you
well, I
got
had
some
no.
really bad background noise coming from your side. I don't know why it's coming from your side, but it's only
Mine?
when you. No,
Or
from
did-
Doug's
It's like
side.
a gargling noise.
Sounds like chickens.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's
that's
only
my
when you
little dog.
See here.
Did it go away? Sounds like my chickens, my dogs.
It only sounds when Doug's speaking, not when you're speaking.
Huh,
Oh, okay. Okay.
weird.
Now, okay, so saying that, and I would say it could happen as fast as Jehovah wants it to happen. I mean, we don't have to wait 20,000 years. These guys can start making decisions today and tomorrow, and really put us into this spin-off,
Yeah.
And this is what I think is very important, is that as we are learning these feast days, we are in rehearsal and keeping them and knowing that we got to be set apart. And I just thought of that right now because I'm over here working. Every real estate deal that I could think of popped up today. How do you like that? And I didn't think about it as it being a normal work day, but I really haven't worked for a while. But it's funny how today they all popped up, and then all of a sudden something said, Doug, get for our class, So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm working. So, and it's not even much work, it's just texting. But it's still, that's what my point is. That's how subtle we can be distracted. That's how fast without even realizing it. This is where the sharpening of the blade comes. This is very important. We have to have this in front of us. What happened? We have to have this right in front of us to realize the enemy is going to do anything he can to sideswipe us, to get us off, to say, this is Yahuwah's day. It's his day, not our day. Our day to celebrate him, to say thank you, and to get ready because we're longing to hear those trumpets. But it's going to be a while, but it doesn't matter. The more practice we get, the better we become.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a word for encouragement out there for all those listening in. Just worry about getting right with Abba, worry about getting right with Yahusha, the Messiah. The rest will figure itself out. I'm glad this topic was brought up while we were still on the record, because I really want to leave everyone with this. Please don't be alarmist, guys. Please, I'm begging you, brothers and sisters out there, please, if you're getting alarmed from someone's YouTube video, shut YouTube off. I'm being honest here. Please, there's too many people out there that are jumping the gun. Just calm down, please. Please, we're nowhere near that covenant happening yet. From what I'm seeing, there's things that still have to happen. So we need to calm down. We need to relax, understand, be still, and know Yahuwah, who he is. Okay, he is Elohim. Okay, so and we just need to relax. We need to, be watchful. I'm not saying don't be watchful, but don't take it to the extreme where you're constantly looking for prophecy to be fulfilled. And there has to be a gray area. there has to be a balance, guys. So that's the last thing I want to say.
Well,
I appreciate
you know what? There's the scripture that says, be occupied until he comes. So live freely. Don't live in bondage. But know, as you're living free in him, you just keep that eye open and just, oh, okay, I'm watching this is going on. Sorry.
Mhm.
My dog took my phone. It should not make us stress out. What this time I think is very beautiful because we got time to clean up our act. Do you know what I mean? We got time to repent and get it right. And look, the house was really good last night. You can go to your brother and sister and say you're sorry, but you need, when you make teshuvah, it's when Yahuwah forgave the woman at the well, when he forgave those and delivered those, he said, "Go and sin no more." So remember that when you're asking forgiveness or you're going to go through teshuvah, don't go back and do the same sin. Leave that sin alone, you know. And if you can do it, we all can do it. We all can do it. I know it for a fact. I know for a big fact that, you know, I mean, even if it's a white lie, once you learn not to lie,
Mhm.
you'll be so free. And that is not to go when you cry before you, are you really crying? Are you just, you know, trying to pull his leg? Are you really repenting? Are you just, you know, you're in trouble for that day, and then tomorrow you're gonna lie again? You know, only when you really get on your face and really bring out that sin and bring it out as dirty and filthy as it can be. Father, I lied because I didn't want to look bad. Father, I lied because I didn't want anybody to know this. Father, I lied because um I didn't you know, there's all kinds of reasons why you lie. I didn't want him to know my business. Well, just shut up and don't tell him your business. Just end conversation. That's all. Don't make up stories to make yourself look good or to make yourself get out of a situation. Just say, you know what, this ain't gonna happen right now. That's all. Turn around, walk away. Don't lose your life to please someone else. Never be pressured to lie. Never be pressured to lie. It's not worth it. We can do this. And once we get that conquered, then we go on to another. Because we got this time right now, guys. It out. If it's being angry, if it's being mad, if it's being unloving, if it's being critical, whatever it is, this is the time now to get it done. And then remember always that tomorrow is promised to no man. And I came close to that. And I know that it can happen to any one of us. So just have your slate clean. If there's somebody there that's causing you to sin, sometimes you just gotta walk away. Walk.
What size
Right.
is that? I think
Yeah.
I
Hallelujah,
do.
sis. Hallelujah. Mom, I'm not trying to have this recorded.
Oh, okay, no problem.
It's just that
No
we've
problem.
already went past the,
Okay.
you know, time that I had set out for the study.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. So I appreciate everyone stopping by. Have a great rest of your Feast of Trumpets and Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom, everyone.